everyone, it's Sherry for SimonsStamp.com with a quick tutorial for you on using our umbrella and kite shaker dies. When you get your dies, on the front cover of each of the packaging it shows a full kite or full umbrella, but these do come in pieces and there's like 3 pieces per each die. I'll walk you through how they're intended to be used, but there is a solid piece here, and this is used to cut out a window and a panel for a shaker, and it also includes these little bows. You also have the frame that goes on the outside of your card, which just frames in the kite, and also the kite tail. The window cutout fits just inside that frame, so when it's all put together, it's really nice and complete. The umbrella works in a similar way. It has the solid piece, which is used for the window. It also has little raindrops that you can cut out all at once. It also has the frame, which will sit on top of that window. And then also the umbrella handle. And there's a little piece at the top to go at the top of the umbrella, and also the handle for the bottom. And I keep those together to cut all at once. I have cut my kite shape out of a piece of pattern paper, and I'll be assembling a shaker card out of these. I've also cut some little yellow bows with some coordinating paper from the little bows that are in the die. I've also cut out a frame using the slate cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and also a tail that I'll go ahead and assemble together. My glue of choice is either the Tombow mono adhesive or the Zig two-way glue pen, but what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and open this up and get it started, and I'll just be putting little dots of glue in the main areas of the frame, and once I'm done I can go ahead and adhere that to the panel. Next, I'm adding glue to my kite tail, and I'm doing the same thing as I did with the frame, just adding some glue. I will be cutting off the little tail part at the bottom of this because it's going to go a little bit longer than what my panel is. But I'm going to go ahead and slide this right up under that kite frame. And once I'm ready, I can go ahead and just press that down onto the panel. I have the front of my panel pretty much done. I've also added my bows. I have a piece of acetate, and this is from the Hero Arts acetate note cards. I like the thickness of this acetate the best. So I'll just be adding some adhesive right behind that kite just to put that acetate in place. And then I can lay down my acetate and press that down. So once I have my window complete, I have a couple pieces of paper here, and I'm going to be putting a yellow piece behind that kite, so when it sits on the card you'll be able to see that yellow. This is the same yellow that I've cut out my bows, so everything coordinates really well. So I'm going to use some foam tape, and I'm bringing out my big roll here, and this comes in a really nice roll that you can cut to whatever size you need, and I do use a Teflon coated scissors for this. I'll start off by pulling up a couple strips, and then I can cut those smaller as I need. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead and cut a good size length, and I'm going to be putting this towards the bottom of that kite as we look at this, and then press that down, and now I can cut around as I need. Using the Teflon scissors is really helpful because this is super sticky foam tape. So what I want to do is to frame out my kite with the foam piece. Once I have that completely framed, then I'll add more adhesive around, and I'm using a powder brush here, and this is going to help stop all the sticky from the side edge of the foam tape. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and brush this around the inside edges, and so the sequins won't stick to that foam that are right around those edges. Another trick that I have, or a tip, is to use a dryer sheet. I don't know if you've used sequins before, but they're super staticky, and also the acetate is staticky. So I'm just going to wipe around my acetate here a little bit, and this will help the sequins kind of float around inside the window. So the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and start adding some sequins, and I've used the yellow from Doodlebug and also the Simon Says Stamp Moonstruck. Next, I'll be peeling up the foam tape that just sits around that kite shape, and once I have that all peeled up, I can go ahead and just put my yellow piece in place. I found this is the easiest way to make a shaker card. I don't feel like it's really cumbersome, but once I have that yellow piece in place, I want to really press around that foam tape that's around that frame of the kite. Now I have a panel that I can just add to my card, and it already has my little sequins enclosed, and it's ready to roll. So once you have your panels onto your card, you could add a sentiment or whatever. So now you have a cute little shaker card. Everything coordinates. And I really do like the pattern paper on these. I've done one also with the umbrella, and I've used a floral paper and some soft pinker type sequins, and also added some raindrops at the top. These dies can also be used for paper piecing, and it's really quick and easy, but I've lifted mine up off the card a little bit, and I wanted to show you how I added dimension. I'll start off with my umbrella card, and you can see just the umbrella portion is lifted up. And so what I've done is I've used my frame portion, I've cut some pattern paper and also a white frame, and then I pieced those together. I'll show you on my kite card how to add some foam adhesive to the back. And so what I've done is I've started with my frame, and I've cut that with some slate cardstock to get my outside frame. I've also cut out several pieces of pattern paper that coordinate together. These are all grays and whites. And on the back I have put a strip of foam tape. So here's what the back looks like. I've used that frame piece to be a guide for that foam tape, and I've pressed that down really well. So what I want to do next is to add a little bit more, and I'm just going to still go around kind of those frame areas where I can catch that paper a little bit. So I'll kind of just replace this. If you work on a craft sheet, this will be much handier for you so the foam doesn't stick to your surface here. But go ahead and lay down a couple pieces, just enough to hold those papers in place to get them started. So now you can see that all I need to do is just to fill in those holes with the cut pieces that were intended for that area. When you do your paper pasting, you can either use different papers like I did on my kite, or use one solid piece of really nicely printed paper like on the umbrella. Here's a quick look at the two options for either the kite shaker card or the kite paper piecing, and also for the umbrella. I hope I've given you some inspiration on how to use our umbrella and kite shaker dies, and thanks for watching.